Do do do. Hello, and how are we this evening? Hey, Paul as well. And why hasn't this come up? Let's see. There we go. Got it working. So, Blue Origin conspiracies is people don't believe that it's true. Maybe it's that they don't think that women can fly into space on their own. Let's not be beat around the bush. None of them flew anyway. Even though they say that this is the crew, it's like saying that fleas on the back of a dog. They're driving the dog. They sat in a bunch of seats. They did nothing. They went up to space and then come back again. They didn't actually do anything other than hold on and enjoy themselves. And it's a bit of a coincidence that the Blue Origin looks like a giant penis, to be honest. So it's not the first time they've done that. But let's crack on with the story. A bunch of Z-list celebrities jump onto Blue Origin to go into outer space to try and push their careers a bit more further. Most of them are old ladies that no one's ever heard of. Katy Perry's probably the only one that I've ever heard of. No idea. Katy Perry. Yeah. I think she's with Jeff Bezos, so she had to fly on it. Because it's the only time that he's going to trust her around men without him being there. And then you've got 3 other people that, yeah, won't have a clue. So 1 out of all of them. I don't think it was fake. I just think it was not a big achievement. It was more for the publicity. I just wonder how much they all got paid to go. And let's be truthful about it. They probably got paid a lot of money to go on the flight because now other people are going to pay to start doing it. But other than that, what did it actually achieve? People are saying, "Oh, it's amazing because they took off, went up, and come back down." And you go, "Well, like SpaceX has been doing it for 3 years," and they're going, "Oh, but this is a big achievement." Why? Because it's Amazon that's doing it. What's it going to be if you stay with Amazon for so long? You get a free ride. It's not really. I can't. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, it's a massive achievement," but what is this story's achievement other than B or C or Z list celebrities flew in a rocket to space and come back down? This was the saddest thing of all. They opened the capsule from the inside, the women, because they wanted to get out. They was told to get back in to shut the door so this could happen, so a man could open the door for them. It wasn't very well planned out. But other than that, that's probably about the only bit of the story that was funny. Oh, I'm watching Jeff Bezos fall over onto his face. But other than that, it's not really a story other than they landed in the desert, which makes it quicker to recover than keep dropping them in the sea. Like SpaceX does, because they never got around to finishing the landing crews. It could land back on the spot. Other than that, I don't think there's really much of a story here. This is all planned because they all did exactly the same thing, got out and kissed the floor. But yeah, boring otherwise. Let's go to the next story, people. You can't show her hitting him. She hits him because he's treating the donkeys bad. And now she's been arrested in Egypt. So she's gone to another country, thought she could act like a sport little brat, like they do in the UK, and slap someone, and now she's been arrested, and now she's the victim because she's 47 years old. So there's her going to hit him, and there's a donkey trying to kick her. I don't know what that is she's got in her hand. But people are saying, oh, she's a hero because she was saving a donkey. She's not a hero. She's going to be deported now because she started to try and beat someone up. Oh, well, if she would have reported it, they wouldn't have done anything. Yes, because you're in another country. You have to follow their rules. We need to stop trying to colonise other countries. We have enough of our own being colonised. We don't need to keep going and starting in other people's countries. She sits there and says, all these animals are being abused. You look at the travellers over the last few weeks. They've treated horses and donkeys much worse and no one says anything. But this is the UK. We can only complain when we're in other countries. If Biden comes on and starts his speech, we will be going over Biden. Let's go to our next story because this one's boring. It's crap. Beijing trade was broadsided. Oh God, they don't actually show you. That's one thing that I hate about Daily Mail. They don't show you the actual video. They just put stupid music on. So Beijing has fired extraordinary new broadside at America amid growing trade wars anger, with senior Chinese officials declaring, "Let these peasants in the United States, well, in front of 5,000 years of Chinese civilization." Well, yeah, China's been around for 5,000 years, and America's what, 300 years old? China doesn't plan ahead for the next 10 or 50 years. They plan ahead for the next 100 years, 1,000 years. And that's the big difference that countries have got to learn. But China have got away with murder for years. They killed a million people and no one could care less. They've abused their people for centuries and no one cares less. Someone used to say, and I remember it from the Indian president, and he said about the EU, when he said that the EU problems seems to be the world's problems, but the world's problems are never the EU problems. And this goes a bit with China and the US. The US problems is the world's problems, but the world's problems is only the US's problems if it's got oil. And the US isn't changing the way that it's going to be. Under Trump, it clearly states that it's going to start. It will start being America first, which I can't deny. You can't argue with. You can't argue that each country should look after its own. China's looking after its own, even though its own is not the people. It's the rich. It's the rich people, not the poor people. It's the big businesses, not the small businesses. It's the oligarchy, like it is in Russia, like it is in Africa, like it is in the EU, like it is in most places. You have the very few at the top that do not care about anyone underneath them. The UK do it. The UK is doing it. And this is the problem, as we see in the UK at the moment with the Birmingham bins. Labour was all for the unions until the unions asked for the pay rise for the binmen. Now, Angela Rayner comes out and says, no, the union should make, because they support Labour and Labour support them, they should, sorry about that, Labour should, unions should bow to Labour, tell their people to take an £8,000 pay cut and go back to work. Who would take an £8,000 pay cut to go and do the same job that you was doing months before for a less of £8,000? And they want them to work more hours. And it's going to cost them millions now. So the pay rise that they would have, the pay increase that they would have still kept, the binman could have kept for the amount it's going to cost to go into Birmingham and actually clean the streets. And this is going to carry on. So this is the problem, not just in China, in every country. People have got to start looking after their own countries and stop trying to save the world and interfere with the world. We're actually going to go on to Birmingham in our next story. Birmingham bin misery could spread to more councils as 5 brand unions humiliate, reject Labour's pleas to take good offer. How is taking an £8,000 pay cut a good offer? And why would people do it when they've seen the doctors got paid out? Who else was it? It was doctors, junior doctors. Then there was someone else, teachers. No, I can't remember. There was another one that got a pay rise. So why wouldn't they? The unions have got everything they've asked for so far, and Labour have paid it. 9 billion extra coming out for just pay rises across 2 sectors. So once they all finish asking for their pay rises, it'll probably be about an extra 30 billion a year, because Labour keep giving in and taking a knee. Why our systems are crumbling. We've got jails that are crumbling, which are run by jihadis now, and even the officers have come out and said it. We'll be covering that later. We've got police forces that are afraid to arrest jihadis and extremists, because it could seem that they are racist, but they're willing to go out and treat white people like trash. We're going to see a video of that later. We've got people abusing kids and the police are looking the other way. We've got hospitals that are underperforming and killing children and babies when they're being born. They are not getting the care they need, so the babies are dying. And people say, oh, well, that's not killing the babies, that's medical misconduct, which in my eyes is the same thing. The management should be prosecuted for. But we've got to keep saying that Britain is a good place, and Britain is great because, and the thing they bring up is the NHS. The NHS is failing all across Britain, which we did a video on all the NHS hospitals that are failing. The police force are failing. We've got, even though they say there isn't two-tier justice, it's proven time and time again. The UK's fallen apart. And it's not just Labour before people jump on the bandwagon. Oh, it's Labour, it's Labour, it's Labour. Tories was in for 15 years and did nothing about it. Labour are in and doing nothing about it and just increasing it, same as Tories did. And that is the problem. Top down, no one gives a shit. And that's the thing that you've got to remember. It's just top down. Government after government, MP after MP, looking the other way, while children get abused, cities get trash piles, workers don't care, workers go on strike, workers are off sick, police force abuse their powers, police force attack people, and we get told, well, that's our system. That's the way it's been for years. Because something has been like it for years does not mean it has to remain the same. We should be able to change it. We should be able to improve it. But we don't. Our railway system is ancient. It's crap. It's so far behind other third world countries, and it's getting like a third world country, our train systems. We put £1 billion into that a year just to keep the rails going, and half of them are not fit for purpose. We pay billions into our roads that are not fit for purpose. We put billions into our water, not fit for purpose. We put hundreds of billions into our NHS that's not fit for purpose. We put billions into our police force, not fit for purpose. But they say, oh, it's been like this for years. What do you want us to do about it? Well, that's why I thought we voted you in. So I hope that Labour and Tories in the council elections, in just under 2 weeks, they get a good kick in. And that's vote-wise, not literally. Don't go out there attacking MPs or other people. That does not do anything. You change nothing by doing that. But if you go out there and vote them out, they will realise, well, Labour won't, but other parties may actually start doing what you want them to do. I can't show this video because it actually shows a hammer being used on YouTube, and it'll automatically ban me. Moment gangsters, maul and battered woman with a hammer in love triangle. Street attack just days before helping gang torture a drug dealing ex-husband to death. But this is the UK, and it keeps happening. We keep getting the gangs attacking each other. Plenty of videos up on my Instagram. that you see gang after gang attacking. She thinks because she's pretty-ish that they all want to be gangsters, and that's the problem. I think the video is up on my Instagram if you want to go and have a look. But yeah, there's not really much else you can say about this. More crime in the UK. She liked the money, so she helps him beat the crap out of her ex. What more can you say? This is lawless Britain. Stabbings that people are trying to bring up a new law to say you get 5 years if you're carrying a knife. The problem is we've already got knife crimes in the UK that state that you can get 7+ months in prison, but the justice system doesn't use it. Our lawyers, our judges don't do it. Prosecutors don't prosecute it. So nothing's going to change because you're still going to get the prosecutors saying, oh no, I can't prosecute this because it's not fair on the people. And you're going to get people say it's not fair, picking on the youth because they're carrying knives because the streets are unsafe. The government can't keep the streets safe, so kids carry a knife. Kids carry a knife because other kids carry a knife. And it's a top-down problem. The problem is, trying to patch it at the bottom does nothing. You need to start patching it from the top and then work your way down. And by the time you get to the bottom, the structure will hold. But people all of a sudden think that kids are going to go, I've been breaking the law, because they know they're breaking the law for the last 4 or 5 years. Oh, I'm going to stop doing it now because they've brought in a law. Well, if they didn't care about the law before, they ain't going to care about the law now. But people suddenly think that it's going to change. Hang on, sorry, I'm just going to see if I can see something. People think that it's going to change because all of a sudden it's gonna be different, but it's not. People do not care about the law all of a sudden just because you change the law. People care about the law, ain't gonna break the law. It's like in America when they say about gun crime and they say, oh well, the criminals will hand their guns in if you ask them. You do understand that because they are criminals for a reason, it's because they don't follow the law. But we get too many people that think because I follow the law, other people will, and they don't. Welcome. Cheers, mate. Thanks for watching. Let's go on to our next story. Incest, inbreeding fears as Dutch medics reveal 85 sperm donors have been used to father thousands of children. So, you wouldn't know if they're your brother or your sister out there. How is that? I think sperm donors should only be allowed to be used so many times before confirmed pregnancies. So many times before they can't be used again. But if they've been used thousands of times and you've got 2,000 kids out there, you've got quite a good chance that at some point 2 of them are going to get together. So 85 men of at least 25 children or more each. And now the biological father of 50 to 75 each. What? Who has fathered 550 children. and stated there is men with over 1,000 kids there. Jesus Christ. I know places like third world countries have incest problem. You wouldn't think it of the Dutch though, would you? But you're looking over the next 20 years of massive inbreeding and massive deformalities. And it makes me laugh when people go, places like India, Pakistan, third world countries, and that have been doing it for centuries. And they have a lot of deformities as well. Or children being born with 2 heads, 4 arms. And that is a deformity. It's not evolution as people keep trying to claim. If your kid comes out brain damaged, that's not evolution. That is a gene in the system malfunctioning when you are being born. You have to be realistic with biology. It's not God made them special. It has nothing to do with God. It's biological. Sometimes it could be something simple down to oxygen deprivation. It isn't that God wanted your kid to be that way. If you believe in God bashing, that's your problem. That's not mine. I don't believe in any religion. If you don't like that, skip the video, jog it on. I'm not fussed. I don't think anyone should start God bashing to anyone else. But, yeah, so the Dutch are going to have real problems like many other countries did. But that is a story. Incest, it will be incest in the future. It isn't at the moment. So the headline's just to get you in like it did me. Hang on, what's going on? Camera's lost focus for some reason. Right, what's this crap? Moment, crack cocaine gang are caught red-handed as police raid caravans of popular holiday parks. Oh my god, not shock. It's strange when people come down and buy 2 holiday homes for like 250 grand and they pay the holiday parks in cash, but...
Please will change the story. No! Give me your arms now! Give the ground! Give the ground! Now! Stay where you are! Police will change that!
We're in here! We're in here now! Get out! Stay where you are! You! Do not
Anyone else in there?
No.
you guys! Stay where you are!
Hands behind your back now! Hands behind your back!
I don't know about these years ago. We used to have people come down, we worked at caravan parks doing security. And you used to have them come down and just pay cash for a new caravan. And you knew what they was doing, we all knew what they was doing. But the caravan parks don't care. As long as you pay the caravan park their money, most of them couldn't care less what you're doing. You'll find there's probably 1 security guard, maybe 2, on the whole entire property, and they will have 10 acres. I think the park that we worked at had over, I think it was 400 caravans on it. So you imagine, 2 people trying to cover 400 caravans ain't going to happen. It used to be like when Pontins was open in Camp Sands. They used to have over 1,300 chalets, and they have 2 security guards. That was it. On the nights that they used to be open and they used to have 2,000-3,000 people inside, sometimes more, up to 5, they used to have 4 security guards on to save money. Police did nothing, council did nothing, government did nothing. The business definitely did nothing because they were saving a fortune. And this was the problem. As I've said in a lot of videos, in the UK we have broken systems from top down that could be easily fixed if government and if MPs cared. So this one was near Skegness. But up and down the country you'll find them doing it, from Dover in Kent up to Scotland. But you report it. People go, oh, well, why didn't you report it? And you go, well, I did report it and nothing happened. There's only so many times you can report something when nothing happens. And people say, well, then why should I keep bothering? Why would I care anymore? It gets to a point where you can only care so much. You can only do so much. And that's it. Double killer told police, I lost my calls tonight and murdered 2 women and tried to kill 2 others in a horrific Christmas Day attack. So Jaswell Brown attacked his partner and other people. And it might sound bad, but I don't care. I want him to go to prison for life. You should not attack people just because you feel bad on a certain day. And I do hope he goes to jail for life. As I've said many a time with many different colours, because people go, oh, well, you're only saying that, and you'll get it. The left, you're saying this because he's black. I don't care if he's black, white, pink, green or purple, mate. I'm judging him on his actions. He killed 2 people. He tried to kill others. That's his life gone. He should never see the outside of a jail. If it was in self-defense, 100%. If it was because someone was attacking him, then it's a different matter. If someone was abusing his kids and he found out, different matter. But just because you lost your cool, it gets used too often now. It's like when people go up after they've abused kids or hurt women. Well, I lost my cool. It's not an excuse. So, yeah, another killer off the streets, but now police, sorry, not our police, our justice system, he will be out within about 6 months. Or a year now in our government. Because they need the spaces. Solar and wind data centres and AI to be prioritised for electricity grid connection. We're all, and that cost you, not anyone else. It's going to cost the government, so cost you. It's already costing £200 to £300 per household in the UK. And it's going up. Net zero that we can do nothing about in the UK at all. Just on the green levies from that is £200 to £300 a year. Then you have the green taxes on other things. If they dropped, you could probably save about £400 to £500 per year on your bills just by them dropping them taxes. That are no point in having anyway, because like I said, we can't do anything. We are 0.9% of CO2 in the world. China is adding 15%. India is adding roughly 15% by 2030. If we do nothing, we will be down to about 0.03 to 0.02, doing nothing and taking away all the green taxes. We will be one of the lowest on the planet for CO2 emissions. But we won't do that because we have to have a crazy ideology that we call Labour Party that have broke their promises time and time again. And we're going to get it time and time again because no one's doing anything about it and their own MPs are too much of a cowards. So, yeah, so that's all fun and games. And cheers for watching, mate. Thank you. Right, let's go to the next one. No, this is the same one. Peter Hedges, top, can't get my teeth in tonight. Peter Hedges, top advisor, Dan Cardwell, escorted out of the Pentagon for unauthorized undisclosure of classified information. So, was this because of the one that got on the WhatsApp, or is this something else? Pentagon Tuesday alleged that being identified during an investigation into leaking department disclosure. So it found that he was leaking Pentagon information. Well, then why was he just escorted out? Because if they found the actual evidence, he should have been arrested. Okay, anyone that leaks classified information shouldn't just be escorted out of the building like he's been slapped on the wrist. They should be arresting him and he should be going to jail. Why do people keep wanting to be lenient with him? Why are people... Time and time again, people get away with it, and people say, oh, what about Trump? Trump was allowed to take his stuff home. This has been said time and time again. Biden had classified information in his garage behind his car he shouldn't have had, because he wasn't even president at this time when he took it. He was, whatever you call it, deputy president or vice president. But he got away with it because they said he was too slow to actually be prosecuted in jail because he didn't realise what he was doing, because he's only got a couple of brain cells left. And that's the nicest way you can put it. Let's be honest, Biden he's old and he's got a few brain cells left. That's about it. And if he farts too hard, he's going to lose them. Let's stop with all the crap about, oh, he's my president. He wasn't anyone's president. He wasn't awake enough. I think, was it 75% or something? It was something like that. He was absent. He was on holiday or asleep in the whole entire presidency. I think it's more like 60%. There's all different numbers. I think it goes up from 50 to 75%. He's away. He was asleep. He wasn't even there to sign the pardons. He was in a different country or flying. You can't be in the room signing a pardon when you're on a plane. You can't be there. Biden barely knows what day it is. He was a puppet. Yeah, mate, he was a puppet. I can't deny that one. No one can deny that. He still is a puppet. I'm waiting for the actual Biden video to come up now so I can watch it and have a giggle about it. We'll have to do it. So when you're on and you're bored, you can come on stream, mate, and we can talk about these stories just for the shits and giggles. Because that'd be even more of a laugh. You don't have to have your camera. We can just do the voice. But yeah, Biden is a muppet and he always has been. So let's go to our next story. It's a bit like our government. Let's be honest. The UK government's not just as bad. We've got Keir Starmer that hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. He won't remember what he's got to talk about. He'll have someone in his ear telling him what to talk about. I bet you tonight, if it comes on. Old Biden. But let's be honest, have you seen Angela Rayner trying to talk? I think she's got dementia and she ain't even as old as Biden. She just keeps saying the same crap that the other ones have told her to say. It's like when you go on to Twitter or one of the forums, all you see is every single Labour follower put exactly the same shit. Straight under one another all the way down. They all say exactly the same thing and they change one word. I think I put it up the other week and there was 100 actual that said exactly the same thing. They didn't actually change it. Yeah, our government's worse. Our government is worse. We've got Biden. We've got, over in the UK, we've got Starmer, Angela Rayner that couldn't run anything. Then we've got David Lammy, who goes to every country and says, we're racist, we want to play reparations. They hate the disabled. They hate the waspy women. They hate... who else have they actually turned their back on? Disabled, waspy women, workers. I'm trying to think of who else. I made a list the other day of all the things that Labour have done, and yeah, the elderly, they fucked all the pensioners over. It's just going silly how much they've actually done now. Where is it? Oh, yeah, there you go. I put Labour just told the waspy women, and this is an actual story that I'm going to cover later. Labour just told the waspy women to go to the DWP if you're poor and sign on. So I put, so now it's pensioners, waspy women, disabled, rape victim of grooming gangs, children and white people that Labour have told that they don't care about. Yep, Christianity they don't care about. They've just stopped the funding on churches and they've just added, I think it's something like £60 million to mosques that was reported. If you can't see it in the chat on whatever, because I've got people on different streams at the minute, it's because I'm streaming across 3 platforms, so I can be on any one of them. Now, they don't care about our own religions, but I'm not allowed to put the chat on the side because it breaks Twitch's rules and it breaks YouTube's rules. Or otherwise, I'd just put chat up on the side. Yeah, so it looks like our country's going to poop. We're just as bad as America now. Alright, let's get on with this story. What one's this one? I was in prison with monsters like Mashed Ahmadi, the one that threw the jihadi brother that's just hurt 3 police officers. Yeah, I thought it was a bigger story than that, but you've got to pay for it, and I ain't paying for it because I don't like Daily Mail or Mail online that much. But yeah, there's another story we're going to be covering later off of my Insta that states about it, where the prison guards are actually scared to talk to a lot of the inmates because they're going to get their heads chopped off or they threaten their families. And a lot of the people inside the prison say exactly the same thing. I've just had a friend that come out, and to be honest, he's more of an extremist. Well, he's an extremist now he's come out. He wasn't when he went in. He went in for petty theft. But now he comes out, he hates the government and he hates everyone other than Islam. And that's what me and him was sitting down talking, and he couldn't even make sense about Islam. He's been indoctrinated so much in prison by these radicals. Now, if you want to believe in Islam, go ahead, because to be honest, I don't see no difference between Islam and the church. I think over the years, Islam and the church have done more damage to the children than anything. Islam, they all say, oh yeah, well, because of the Islamic Pakistan Muslim rape gangs, since 2000, there has been over 250,000 roughly, estimated. They reckon there could be more children, girls that have been abused by them. Yeah? And people go, oh, look at that religion, look at that. The church used to do it with the kids. You can look at the kiddie fiddlers there in the church. Not being funny, how many popes and priests have covered it up? And you'll see one or two get prosecuted for it. So let's look at the bigger picture. People are going to say that I'm racist because I don't care what religion you are. If you touch a kid, you're a paedophile. You should go to jail. I don't care if that upsets you. If that upsets you, you're probably a nonce anyway. So let's not try and hide, like, jump around the bush. That is the only reason you could be upset that someone is pissed off with people abusing kids. It's because you like kids. There is no other logical reason. I don't know. There's a few people in different chats. Give me a good reason why people would be annoyed when you say that no matter their colour, their religion, their creed, what country they're from, if they touch a kid or want to touch a kid, so let's say anyone under the age of 16, and that's low, but let's say 16 because that's the legal limit in the UK, you are a paedophile. It doesn't matter what colour, religion, race. If you're male or female, and there is only two sexes, so that's going to upset some people as well. We have to stand by what we believe. As I've said in a lot of cases now, you have to have evidence, not just hearsay, because women now are getting told when they go for legal advice, if they're in a marriage and they want to keep the kids, say that the dads might have touched them. And this is multiple people coming out and saying this, and it's been multiple stories proving it. That to me is not right. You don't accuse someone of doing that if they've never done it. But too many women are, because it's too easy, because the court looks down on them. But if, like a lot of these, and you can go to my Instagram and find people on there from all different colours and religions saying, yes, I have come here to meet a child. They should be arrested and put in jail. They shouldn't even get bail because they have admitted they are unsafe for children until they are actually going to their court case. If that upsets you, that's your problem. Our jails at the moment are full of jihadis that are threatening our guards, threatening their families. The government, if they have no control over your prisons, how are they supposed to control your streets? And people say, oh, the worst of the worst are in prisons. No, the worst of the worst are still out on the streets. Because you've still got the people that are out there doing it that the police will not arrest. The people that are in jail are the people that are down, let's say down the line, that are getting arrested, that are getting caught. It's like the one of my mates, Palanite, he was saying about earlier, one of the Rotherham grooming gangs got 9 years. He's already out on the streets, living near the people that he abused. Because the prisons released him early because They know that if they didn't let him out, where they're treated like kings in prison, that something could happen. And this is our problem. The guards, the police, the system are scared of what's going to happen next. They don't want another Ariana Grande concert, someone blowing themselves up. They don't want their kids to get hurt. They don't care about yours. Let's be honest about it. Most of the politicians, Tories, Labour, have let your kids get abused for years. That's why a lot of these jihadis and Islamic extremists are in prison. They've let your kids get abused for a vote because they want power. They don't care about your kids. And this is the problem that we have. But I don't care if it gets me shut down. I don't care if YouTube get upset about it. I don't care if other channels get upset about it. If you can't speak the truth, what's the point? I know someone just put, you got to be careful because you can get arrested in the UK. They want to come to my door. They know where I live. It's not like I'm hiding where I live or anything like that. The police know who I am. They just get told to get lost like any other time. Unless they come to my door with a warrant for my arrest, they ain't getting jack shit. Right. Stop giggling, Jay. I can actually see you giggling, mush. I don't care. Right, 2 seconds, I'm just going to have a drink. I know I go on about these things, but it's because I believe they're idiots in our country. Right, Beijing trade war. Let's go and see what he's got to say. We've been ripping you off for years and we know about it. We're upset that you lot are gonna actually, that the US is actually fighting back and they've got a leader that cares about their country. It does need to be said, mate, about what's going on in our country, but too many people are scared in case they get arrested or get taken away. Beijing has fired back with new broadcasts and they ain't going to show the broadcast, which is fucking pointless. Beijing has fired back at an extraordinary blah 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 trade war with China. I ain't cutting through all this crap. Right, so let's see what it actually said. Officials declared, let those peasants in the United States wail in front of 5,000 years of civilization. I think I actually fucking covered this one about 10 minutes ago. So I think I'll put that one back so we can skip that one. Oh, this one is... I'll stop it before it does it. But an idiot's walking around with their dogs that they can't actually handle, and then their dog's going to attack another dog. Right, warning. I will stop it before they actually, you can gather what happens. But dog's attacking there. Oh, hang on. Oh no, that's a different one. Oh, I won't show that one because they're actually fighting. But there's dogs fighting. There's a dog still fighting. And there's a few like this that using it as a ragdoll and the owners can't actually look after their pets. Don't blame the pets, blame these morons that own the dogs. It's not, a dog is not brought up to be bad, it's the actual morons that own the dogs. Most of them ain't got an IQ like over fucking water. And before people get upset, oh, you can't say that about the mentally disabled. Let's be truthful about it. We've got 50% of the population in the UK have got low IQs. That's why it's called average IQ, people. And a lot of them have dogs because they have only got, like, and treat them like crap because they're too busy smoking pot, taking drugs, and not caring about their kids to actually care about the dogs. I guarantee you, if you probably look at him, he's got if you look at his lifestyle, he's probably got 3 kids, don't look after them, and thinks that sending them a £5 a month's like is him doing his dad's duties. And there's plenty of them out here that don't care about their kids, don't go and see their kids, and people are going to say, "Oh, you just speak like that, blah blah blah." I can speak about whatever I want. People take the piss out of me because of my teeth. I don't care. They look like a graveyard. What's your point? People moan, I've had crap said about because of my size. Yeah, I'm a fat git. What's your problem? I don't care what you think about me. You can say what you want about me like I can say about them. This is what we call freedom of speech in the UK. If you don't like it, go onto one of your safe channels, sit there, and put your head in the sand. I really couldn't care less. I'm not here to tell you what you think. I'm here, this is my channel. I am here to tell you what I think. If you don't like it, plenty of others. See you later. Have a good day. It's not my attitude to care about other people's feelings or what you think. I will tell you how I feel about the subject. If people are in here and we chat like I did with Palanite just a little while ago, I will chat with them. If I think you're an idiot, I will tell you you're an idiot, because that is the way that I am. I think people that cannot control their dogs, and I've had plenty of dogs over the years, and I've been with people with plenty of dogs, it's the way they're brought up. It's the way that you teach them, just like kids. The other day, there was a kid hitting a dog, and people were saying, when the dog turned around and snapped at the kid, "Oh, it's the dog's fault, it's the dog's fault." The kid's just hit the dog in the head 5 times with a bottle. It was nothing to do with the dog. It was the retard hitting him in the head with a bottle. And let's be honest, it's the retard's father and mother that was standing there letting him hit him in the head with a bottle. You don't hit someone in the head 5 times and then moan that you're the victim when they hit you back. That's not life. That's not the way it should be. Right. That's this done. Right, that's all the stories we've got from Daily Mail and the media. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and then I will be back, and we will do my X account, and we'll do the stories on there, which will upset some people. So if you get upset easier, I suggest you disappear. If not, I will be back in a few moments. Cheers, Jay. I'll see you in a bit. I'm back. So, let's go through these slowly. What the hell? What the hell? Huh? They're all turned off. Right. What? 2 seconds, I'm gonna go through this. Right. So. Nope. Nope. Why ain't this working? Right. Yeah, but why is it like that? Oh, hang on, I know why. There we go. Let's keep adjusting it. So. That's horrible. Let's try and make it a bit bigger. Still looks juddery. So Maldives officially banned Israelis from visiting the country. Have they done that with Russians? No? Oh, what a shock. So, countries that do this from one country to another, you can soon sort out why. And you can soon figure out why. It's not because they're in war with Palestine. It's because they're Jews. That's the only real reason. And countries that do crap like this, people should miss. You're going to get people, oh, I support Palestine, so I'm going to go there. That's your choice. Like it's the choice of many other people that support Israel not to go there. Freedom of choice. Some people will not enjoy the Maldives, some people will enjoy the Maldives. But why? I don't know why countries get involved when it's got nothing to do with them and they go, oh yeah, but I see a genocide. Did you stop the Chinese coming into your country when they killed 1 million Muslims? No? Did you stop people from the Congo coming in when they're killing each other day in, day out? No? Did you stop Africa from when they was killing the white farmers? No? Oh yeah. The problem is people only get on their high horse when it gets some media or when it gets how can I say, gets on their political high horse over it. I don't think the British or Americans should be involved in any of these wars anymore. It has got to the point where it's beyond a joke. And that would upset a lot of people. But I don't care. The problem is we have people... I don't think we should get involved in any war. I don't think the US should be giving Israel $3 billion a year to keep the Iron Dome. Israel can afford to pay for the Iron Dome themselves. But the US does it, so it has a powerhouse in the Middle East. I think the Jews have got as much right to live there as Palestinians. Palestine has never been seen as a state. People that say that Palestine has been there for centuries, no, it hasn't. If you believe in the Quran, it even states that there was an Israel there in 600. In 600 after Christ, where Muhammad actually states in chapter 5, verse 72, I think it is, the children of Israel, because he's in the Middle of the East, he's just conquered it. But people say, oh no, well he was wrong. I do love the people that say he was wrong. So I say, what, the Quran is wrong? And they said, oh no, he was seeing into the future. No, he wasn't. He couldn't even get half the crap he said in the Quran, which no one can seem to understand who wrote it. It's not the word of God. So, and it wasn't written by God. That will upset people. That's their choice. This is just facts. And if you don't like the facts, I can't help you any other way. Most of this on this channel is either facts or opinion. I tell you when it's my opinion. When I tell you say facts, you can go onto my Instagram and you can see where I got the information from. This upsets people. That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. So all these written, the Bible, the Quran and that, if you believe them, Israel's been there since, I think it was, Jew, shall we say, has been there since 536 BC. Jews have been on the land, along with Arabs. Before people say, oh, well, they was Muslim Arabs, they wasn't. Islam wasn't created until 600. That's just a fact. Even the scholars, your own scholars say that. Don't cry about it. Muhammad wasn't born, I think, till 551 or something. As far as I remember, I haven't looked at it for ages. But people get upset because you tell them historic facts and they go, well, they're not historic facts. We have changed them. You can't change historic facts. It's like the Bible, when they say the new Bible. It's not like the old Bible, we've changed it. But the old Bible was supposed to have been written by Jesus' followers. Yeah, but they was wrong. How do you know they was wrong? They writ it because they was with God. Well, with Jesus, sorry, not God, Jesus. If you believe it, I don't. I think it's a made-up story. I think it's a story that people told people so they had something more to look forward to. I think Mohammed did exactly the same thing, which was great for him. Gave him more power than he could ever want. I think other people have done exactly the same. Genghis Khan, I think China's like it. I think if you go back to the Incas, they did exactly the same thing. Everyone was afraid of one of, I think it was 200 different gods. I think throughout time, people have worked out that religion and beliefs are a powerful thing for people to follow. But that is going back, thing is, in SL, there was only one God. There's only this, there's only that. You believe in one God and I believe in one less. That's your choice and that's my choice. I will never believe in God. I will never believe in Muhammad is the truth. I will never go back and believe Genghis Khan will believe it. I think in another 1,000 years you'll probably have a cult that believes that Harry Potter was real. And in 2020, in 2010, that the Muggles fought against the people that had magic. You'll probably get people that believe that because people need to believe in something. But yeah, so religion and that shouldn't keep getting involved in other countries, and other countries shouldn't keep getting involved because of a religion. Let's go to the next story. Let's start again. Prison officers fear being beheaded by Islamic terrorists in Britain's most violent jails. And I called this out months ago, and so many people said I had no idea what I was talking about and was racist. No, I talked to the people in the prisons and who work there, the guards and the prisoners. And I've had people that have come out of prison that I know. And they've said that they're a jihadi breeding ground. They think a lot of people come out of prisons more radical than when they go in as jihadis. And the jihadis in there are treated more like royalty. They get the best food, the best of other stuff. So what is the government going to do about it? Probably nothing. But without control of our prisons, and you can go and click on it on my page, and it actually says the stories from GB News, this one. You can go there, find the facts and that. You can go there and read it. I know the facts from not GB News. I know the facts from talking to guards and actual inmates. A lot of my friends are criminals. They have been criminals, not for anything like petty crimes and that. Other stuff. Yes, some have been done for all sorts of stuff, but nothing to do with kids or that, because I do not associate with people like that. I think the only good thing for them is to be locked up for life or deceased. But we don't have the death penalty anymore in the UK, which is a shame. And when they've come out, even some of them after a year's stint, and they sit there and they start talking about Muhammad, and I just look at them and I'm like, why are you now all of a sudden into religion? And they said, because I had no choice. And I'm like, what do you mean you had no choice? They go, well, I was in certain prisons, and if I didn't, I wouldn't have survived. One of them got stabbed in prison because he wouldn't convert at the start. He was in there for a month and he wouldn't convert. He got stabbed and got told every day that he didn't convert, he was going to get another stabbed. So while he was in prison, he converted to Islam. He prayed 5 times a day. Or as he said, he'd sit in his cell and say that he prayed. When he'd be sitting on his bed, oh yeah, of course I prayed. But We have no control anymore over our prisons. We do not have control over our borders. We do not have control over our streets. What do we have control over in the UK? Let me know. Let's go to the next one. Let's see if I can line this up a little bit better. How you know your country is failing when the parties have done as bad as the Tories and the government you have is doing as bad, like Labour, but there are three main parties of all level. YouGov Westminster voted Labour's on 24%, Reform 23%, Conservative 21%, Lib Dems on 14%. I don't even know why people still vote for Lib Dems. And the Greens are on 11. To be honest, people, it's mainly kids or old people that vote for Lib Dem Greens. But how can the problem with Reform is they haven't actually got structure, and if they get a lot of councillors, they could push forward. But the problem you've got at the moment is with Reform is that no one really knows what they're like, and the only person that anyone really knows on Reform is Nigel Farage. A lot of people have not forgiven him for like 2 elections ago when he screwed over a lot of people by removing people so they couldn't vote for him, because as he stated, he wanted Brexit that we never got. And as they said, he was gullible then. Is he going to continue to be gullible now? Also, they haven't given out a great manifesto. We keep getting these and they say it's not a manifesto, it's a contract with the people. Most of your contract with the people is rubbish. You're going back on what you promised. Well, we can't do mass deportations like the US. Why not? Anyone that's crossed the channel illegally should be removed. Anyone that is here legally should get higher priority. Anyone that is born here or is living here, no matter their colour, creed or religion, should get higher priority on the housing list. It's as simple as that. Oh, well, some people are fleeing, so we can't put them in a hostel. But you can put a mother, a child, and her 2 kids into a hostel for 2 years because she's British, but you can't put an illegal coming here for 2 years in a hostel because it is inhumane. Make it make sense. And this is what the Tories have done and the Labour have done. They've told you they're going to increase funding for housing. This is rubbish. Most of the land that is still owned by builders, they're not building on because they can't sell. They are not going to let it to council house owners, because you will only be paying the maximum of about £600 per month for your rent for a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom. They want at least £1,000 to £1,500 per month. They are not going to invest in building a house that they know is mainly going to, that may be trash, shall we say, by people on benefits. That might sound nasty, but that's the way the builders see it. I've helped build houses. I've helped these people try and get into houses, and it is very hard. Trying to move in the system is near impossible. And that is the problem that we've got at the moment. The system is not made to help people. And that might sound nasty, but that is a fact. The system is not actually built to help anyone anymore. It's built to cope. We're going to go on to our next story. Can't show that one because it gets taken down off of YouTube. So Germany now is going to be called racist because Germany vows to reduce asylum seekers as public services are overwhelmed with migrants. We've been saying that in the UK and you're called a racist. When the UK says this is racist, from Germany says it is democracy. It's strange how that works. So the EU says when Germany says it, oh, it's democracy. They want this. Their leaders want that. When the UK say it, we get told we're racist and we're not taking enough immigrants. Why should we? Why should we keep taking in people that are not, most of them are not fleeing war-torn zones, but we're keeping them because of the human rights law that should be repelled? I've said this before, it should be taken away. There's a point where you have to put your country first. And people say, oh, well, that's racist. 81% of the UK, yes, is white. The rest is not. And I'm still talking about them. That's not racism. People say that I'm racist because I will talk about mental health problems, or I will say that people that dress as a woman is mental health problem. Men that dress as a woman and stuff like that. Because that's what it was until a few years ago. So let's, like this is bring back asylum, because he's saying, this is what he says. This is not a man trying to make out he's a woman. This is someone doing it for attention. This is mental illness. No difference from if he would have dressed up as the Joker from Batman. Right, let's go. So, we've got this one. Rich people are kinder than the poor. A study of 2.3 million people conclude. You know why the rich people are kinder than the poor? Because they have more money. And people say it's because they don't pay their taxes, which is proven time and time again is a lie. The rich pay, right, the top 50% pay 90% of all income tax in the UK. The top 50%. The bottom 30% pay in less than £8 billion. So that wouldn't even cover the money we send to Ukraine every year and the aid budget. The bottom 30% don't even pay a penny towards the upkeep of the UK. Not a penny. But the bottom 30% want the top 50%'s money. Why? You're not paying for anything. The government could cut the spending, foreign aid spending, and cut the money to Ukraine. The bottom 30% of earners, so I don't even know how much that is. Hang on, give me 1 second and I will find it for you. Give me 2 seconds, sorry. So anyone on less than, I'm just waiting for an answer. If it works. Yeah, it's going to break now. But I think it's something like anyone on less than £35,000 a year. Let's try it again. £33,000. It's about it's between £30,000 and £37,000. Oh, 28 to 30. So 28 to £30,000 a year could be taken out of the tax bracket entirely, and it wouldn't make a single difference to the UK. The lower 20% are on 13. The lower 20% are the bottom 10% earners, £22,763 per year gross. So, but it doesn't actually. It just says that it's between 28 and 30,000. The top 20%, the bottom 20%, sorry, is on 25 to 37. So that would make 30 percentile around 28 to £30,000, and they could pay zero taxes and income tax, and it would make no difference to the UK economy. But do you know why the government won't do it? Because they want that tax to pay for foreign aid, and to pay for Ukraine. That's $8 billion. When they could spend that on your schools, on your education, on transport, on policing. You imagine £8 billion in policing. Not the NHS, I'm sorry, but the NHS shouldn't get another penny until it's actually had a top-down reshuffle and a big audit. And without that audit, it shouldn't get an extra penny. But when people tell you next time, the rich people don't pay anything and they're not that kind, tell them they're full of crap, because they are. Right, next story. Teachers in England voted to reject government's offer of a 2.8% pay rise, and now they're talking about strikes. Our school system needs top-down rework, which I've said for years. It's failed for the last 30 years. Lots of teachers have no idea what they're teaching. I was talking to my mates. Me and my mate went to pick up his kids, and we was talking to a teacher, and she didn't believe that the Holocaust happened. And she's a history teacher. She didn't know who Genghis Khan was. She's a history teacher. She didn't know that the Romans had taken over most of the world at some point. That Genghis Khan had taken over most of the world, and he killed 10% of the population. She said it wasn't taught on her course. I said, so what was? And she said, how to teach children about history. And then she told his kids that most Romans were gay because they had sex with men and women. This is what our teachers are teaching children in our school in 2025. Well, this was 2024, but in 2025. And now they want a pay rise. Another one. And they're going to go on strike. So by the time the teachers get their pay rise, the binmen get their pay rise, the councillors get their pay rise, who else is there? The councils get their pay rise, the councillors get their pay rise, the MPs get their pay rise. It's going from the 9 billion that we're spending already on pay rises that Labour have given to an estimated, if they give half of what these people want, the police, the fire brigade, the ambulance service, we are looking at around about, I think it works out, 30 billion in the UK. 30 billion quid. So, this is the Muslim migrant who come to the UK. Hassan in prison 13 years for in prison a 13-year-old girl in his basement. Hassan's friends to go and rape her and abuse her for months on end in Bradford, UK, and he was jailed for 6.5 years. That's it. 6.5 years for keeping someone captive and selling her to his friends. But people are quiet about that. But you transfer that to someone like Andrew Tate that's not been convicted at all, and they say he should be locked up for life. Without a conviction. Without evidence other than what's been said, snippets out of podcasts, where he was boasting that. Is the man nice? No, not many men are. Not many women are. Let's be honest about it. And how many of them bullshit? Most of them. I think something like 85% of the population lie on a day-to-day basis. But we are willing to convict one because he looks white, even though he's black. But we're not willing to convict another because he's Muslim. This is our two-tier system in the UK, and this is our two-tier system when we are judging people. Right, so then we go down to this one here. Government says disabled benefits are full of fraud. The facts are, as shown, that Labour lied again. Fraud on PIP, personal independent payment, 0%. There is no fraud. Or none that they can measure. Attendance allowance was 0. Disability living allowance, 0.1. Carers allowance, 3%. Housing benefits, 3.9%. Pension credits, 3.9%. People that are still claiming pension credits after people are dead. It's not fraud that's out. It's not about fraud. It's all about control, because now they can look into your banks without your permission. Now they can see what's going in and out of your bank, and they can cut your money at any time. This is the problem. But Labour are just trying to abuse the system. Right, let's go down to the next one. Right, let's go back to the start. How this officer treats these people, he should instantly be fired. You do not start dragging people around like this and kicking people. Look. And this is the UK. Now you watch any other video and there's loads of them on my channel. You can see the channel there. Sledger 81 News and Opinions. Go and join us. When they treat people of like in the Palestinian protests, or when they're running away from the Muslim gangs or the gangs in London because they're too much of a coward. But when it comes to white kids and that, they know if they beat the crap out of them, nothing is going to happen. Because no one cares in the UK. And why I say that no one cares is because child after child gets raped, but because they're white, no one cares. The government don't care, the council don't care, the police don't care, your counsellors don't care, and most of the time the parents don't care. And there is parents out there that do care, don't get me wrong, but the majority don't. And this is what keeps happening. People will look the other way because they want politically correctness. They do not want to. They don't want to step out of line, and we have this time and time again. And people think this is okay. Are kids out of control? 100%. Do the police need to act like animals? No. Do you think the police officer's going to get respect because he was acting like a total and utter twat? Of course he's not. He's going to get ridiculed and he's probably going to get fired. Right, so let's go to the next one. Kamalo Anthony walked free after being charged for first-degree murder in Austin after his bail was reduced from 1 million to 250,000, so he had to pay 25 grand. He's had £500,000 raised from him from GoFundMe. His parents have already said they're going to use the money instead of for his legal team and that. They're going to spend it on a new house and protection for him and the family. But all this protection was paid for by that GoFundMe. But will he go to jail? I think the jury will be too scared. And because it's a white kid, most people won't care. Why was he carrying a knife in school? Why did he use it? It happens every day in the UK. And nothing else can really be said about it. Who's paying for Labour? This should be done for all MPs from all parties. Someone created this. These are the people that have paid for Wes Street. They've actually donated money. So, and no one knows about the rest of it, the other 264,000. So you've got nearly 500,000 people that have donated to him. So over 60%, and you can find all this data on the election, wherever that is. That's where we got the data, and you go on my site and have a look and zoom in and find that out. But, yeah. But I think this should be done for any MP. Any MP should have to register every donation, and it should come up with a clock like this, a pie chart, and it should show every single person that comes up, gives him a donation. It should come up with their name and how much, what business they're from, if they are a business, if they're linked to where he's getting contracts, so that you can actually then criticise it as much as you want. And you can criticise any MP from all of them, not just Labour because they're in power at the minute, which is why they get more scrutinised. But Every single MP. So this is when I talk about like mental health problems. Adult baby diaper lover who identifies as a woman, that's a man, and climbs into clinical waste bins to sleep and finds comfort amidst dumping soiled nappies at children's nurseries. And I'll bring back the mental asylum. And it should be, because it is not fair for kids to have to go to school and stuff like that and have people doing that at their schools, putting their poo into their bins and that. What is wrong with people? Got another story. So 70% of Americans approve of the Department of Government Efficiency. Saving the people money is a great start for the people. Which, if they're going to save you, let's just say he saves you $500 billion every single year. Don't get me wrong, other departments are going to try and snap it up. But if they can somehow lower your taxes by saving you the money, why is everyone upset about it? Oh, well, some people are getting fired. Some people will lose their jobs because they're failing you, or their departments are not needed anymore. Why should people keep a job, and why should the people pay for it when it's of no use? But people in the US seem to be getting upset about that, time and time again. I don't understand, and they're all attacking Tesla and that for doing this, when Elon Musk is trying to help your country, wasting money. And everyone's upset because they're cutting off people that are 100, 250 years old still claiming Social Security or stuff like that. And they're going, oh, well, they're touching this department. Well, have they touched it? No. Oh, and have they said they're going to touch it? Well, no, but they may get round to it one day. They may get round to it and they might find fraud and they might be able to save you money. So your insurances and that come down, so it saves you money. But they can't see it because it's not Democrats doing it. When the Democrats couldn't give a shit about them. Let's be honest, the Democrats proved that when they could not stand for a boy with brain cancer or a brain tumour, whatever it was, they could not stand for him when he was getting made a sheriff, which was his life dream. Just because it was the other side doing it. That is the lowest of low. You can't do right just when it's your side. You have to call out both sides. I tried calling out both sides and I fell. But I know if Labour had come out and said this is this boy's dying wish or last wish, and he wanted to be a police officer, and they said, here you go, we're going to make you an honorary police officer, and you see that little boy smile and just want to give someone a cuddle, I would have said, well done to Labour. They've actually helped someone do what they needed to do before he dies, or it's hopefully he'll get better and actually become a police officer. But his last wish, they fulfilled, so if anything does happen, at least he's had it done. But the left still hated it. The left still thinks that it was wrong. Now let's go down to, when you vote Labour, you get trashed. This is Birmingham. And that's what Birmingham is like at the minute. Trash everywhere. Because they are on strike. The unions that support Labour are on strike because the council want to give them an £8,000 pay cut for most of the bin workers, and the bin workers have said no, which 100% understandable. The thing is that Labour haven't and the council haven't worked out. This is going to cost probably 10, 20, 30 million to actually pay for this now to be cleaned up, because it's been like it for a month. You've got rat infestation all over Birmingham, and this is not just Birmingham, this is happening in other councils. So the pay rise that they haven't got the money for, they've got to find the money now on top of what they're going to pay the people to clear the streets up. So they're paying out double what they was going to pay. And the unions have already told them, go jump. We're not going to do it, even though Labour's saying, well, we should control the unions because we give you money and you give us money, and in return we give your staff workers pay rises, which gives the union money. Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme. And the unions have gone, we don't care that we vote for you or that we support you. We want more money. Our union bosses are upset that we're on 130 grand. If we get this pay rise, we can get 135,000 a year, 145,000 for turning up for a couple of days a week. So Labour's got a lot more problems to come. Like we said, you've got the binmen that are on strike. Then you've got teachers that are going to go on strike again. Then you've got other industries. The police force want their money. Ambulance service want their money. The fire brigade service want their money. The army are going to want a pay rise. The navy are going to want a pay rise. The other industries are all going to want their pay rises. As I said, it works out, it's probably going to cost another £30 billion by the end of this government to £50 billion just in pay rises. There you go, and that's just the other story that was saying that they've overwhelmingly rejected it. Rejected the actual story. We was going to do the Biden video, but I can't find one. The live stream was a little while ago, but I can't be bothered tonight. I think that is me. I think that's all the stories we're going to do tonight. We've covered a few. We've had a few people pop in and out. So thanks to the people if you see this. But yeah, so we ain't done too bad tonight. Thank you for all the people that come in and out. And I will see you, what's today? Tuesday. I will see you Thursday. If I stream in between, you'll just see it pop up. But I usually stream Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at the minute. Thank you very much.